Okay, Joe, and thank you very much. Here comes Horace Clark on, leading off for the Yankees. The Yankees have lost the first two ball games in this series, 4-2 Friday night and 3-1 yesterday afternoon. Horace Clark coming into the ball game, batting at 193. Has one double, no triples or homers, 5 RBIs. Batting left-handed against the big, powerful Earl Wilson. The right-hander delivers. There's a dribbler toward the mound. Wilson can't get to it as he runs by it. That ball moved over toward the first base side. Wilson moving off. Got his glove to it, stopped the ball, and ran right by it, and that should go as an infield hit, and it does. Horace Clark opening up the ball game here with an infield single, a dribbler between the mound and first base. So the Yankees put the first man on in the person of Horace Clark. And here's Tommy Tresh batting at 223 with 4 home runs, 11 RBIs. Earl Wilson picked up from the Boston Red Sox for Don Demeter last June, and what a year he had since coming over to the Tigers. The big right-hander throws over to first base. Good move for a right-hand pitcher. Lauren Babe coaching at first base. Frank Crissetti at third. Don Wirtz, very shallow at third, looking for a possible bunt. The pitch to Tresh, a one-hopper to Cash. Catches it on the bag, the throw to second, and Clark is tagged out by the shortstop, Ray Euler. Norm Cash caught the ball as he was standing on the base, which retired Tresh. It was a one-hopper, and flipped to second to Ray Euler. And that took care of the Yankees very quickly here. As far as this budding rally was concerned, the ball was well hit. But under the circumstances, it was hit in the wrong place. And Joe, you know, it's a game of inches, and that's part of that big inch.
Yes, it is. Norm Cash got that ball right on the bag. There was nothing he could do but get the force out at first base. And then an easy flip to Euler, and it's an easy double play. Cash looks like he might have put his finger into the glove a little bit too quickly because he had time called for a moment. He's all right. A lot of times you do that and tear a nail.
Okay, Mickey Mantle is coming on. 7 home runs, 15 RBIs, batting at 258. Mantle, batting left-handed, takes low and outside from Wilson, and it's ball 1. Mickey, who came up with his 503rd yesterday, been hitting that ball sharply, has moved his average up 20 points in the last 5 or 6 games. Mantle deep in the batter's box. The outfield is deep and shaded to the right as Mickey holds off, and let's wait and see now. It's 2-0. The board had 1-1 up there, but it's 2 balls and no strikes. Plate umpire is Marty Springstead at first base. Senior umpire in the American League is John Stevens. Bob Stewart at second and Bill Valentine at third. Earl Wilson ready once again into the windup. Here's a pitch to Mantle. Grounded at the plate. Strike 1. 2 balls and 1 strike. Dick McAuliffe, the second baseman, is back about 6 feet on the edge of the outfield grass. Ray Euler, the shortstop, shading toward second base and on the grass. In at third and giving Mantle about 20 feet of the line is Don Wirtz. Cash a normal first base and giving Mickey a big chunk of that line. Fastball is outside. 3 balls and 1 strike. They're bunching Mantle in the infield and the outfield. Mantle is not a pull hitter. Hits the ball straight away, both left-handed and right-handed. Infield and outfield, bunching Mantle up the middle. Free and behind the plate, calling a sign now. Here's the 3-1 delivery by Earl Wilson. It's high, it's ball 4, and Mantle draws a walk. So Mickey down to first base with 2 outs. And here's Joe Pepitone, who's batting the same 258 that Mantle has. Pepitone, 2 home runs and 14 RBIs. Mickey leading the Yankees in home runs with 7, RBIs with 15. Pepitone trailing behind Mickey with 14 in the RBI department. Joe Pepitone crouching over the plate. The pitch, it's high by Earl Wilson. Ball 1. Wilson, as Joe told you, had a 4-3 mark as this game got underway. Last year, coming over from the Red Sox, he was 5-5 with the Red Sox last year and compiled a 13-6 mark, finishing up with the Tigers, ending up 18-11, his best year in the big leagues. Pitch to Pepitone on the ground to the second baseman. McAuliffe bobbles it. Pepitone digging, and a nice play by Norm Cash, scooping up a low throw, but it pulled him off the base. And Pepitone is safe at first. Well, the error by Dick McAuliffe puts Mantle at second. Pepitone at first and brings up Steve Whitaker, who had a pair of hits yesterday, bringing his average up to 253. Steve Whitaker, 1 home run, 11 RBIs. Dangerous batter, good power. Steve Whitaker holding the bat right on the end, stands far back from the plate. Not too deep in the batter's box, but moves away from the plate and leans over. He likes to go out after the pitch. Whitaker with a bat ready. Here's a pitch by Wilson. Dribbler toward the mound, Earl Wilson. Up with it, flips over to Cash in time. The side is retired. That play going 1-3. For the Yankees in the top of the first, no runs on 1 base hit. 1 Detroit error, 2 men left, and the score after a half inning of play. Yankees nothing, Tigers coming to bat. Going into the bottom of the first inning, it'll be Don Wirt, Dick McAuliffe, and Al Kaline. Whitey Ford coming on for the first time since May the 12th. And, Joe, this has got to be a big start for Whitey and for the Yankees and their future this year.
Yes, it is, Jerry. More ways than one, too. Before the game, there was no batting practice taken by the Yankees, and it was a pretty good meeting held before the game. It's no secret that the Yankees are not hitting. All you got to do is look at the averages. Hitting as a team for 222, and managers will do that. They'll shake their ball club up, telling them, you guys are hitting 450 in batting practice and nothing in the game. And that coupled with Whitey Ford's start, I would say it's the most important game.
Okay, Whitey Ford, the old master out there. 236 lifetime wins. Has lost 105. Delivers a fastball in there, strike 1 to Don Wirt. And Don Wirt having a tough time at the plate in the early going. Comes into this game at 192. 1 home run and 5 RBIs. Ford again to Wirt. Hit deep to left field. Down the line, and that ball is fair by about a foot. Wirt digging for second. Tresh bobbling the ball momentarily, but Wirt rounds second and holds on. So on the second pitch of the ball game, Don Wirt opens up with a double deep to left field. That ball was not more than a foot fair. Here comes Dick McAuliffe. McAuliffe batting .255, 5 homers, 14 RBIs. On deck, the great Al Kaline. Coaching at first base for Detroit, Wally Moses. And at third, Tony Cuccinello. Bottom of the first. First inning of the first ball game here. The pitch by Whitey to McAuliffe is in there, strike 1, sidearm fastball. Hauser in at third base. Amaro shading behind Wirt at second. Clark about straight away at second base, and Mantle at first. Here's a pitch by Whitey. Fastball misses outside. 1-1, 1 ball and 1 strike. Don Wirt, a leadoff double on at second base. The outfield shading McAuliffe slightly to pull. Pepitone a little bit into right center. Ford again. Sidearm sinker is low this time. 2 balls and 1 strike. Yankees trying to salvage some of this series. Lost the first 2 ball games. They come into this game with a 13-16 mark. Detroit only a half game behind the front-running White Sox in second place. So Whitey Ford sets again. Here's a pitch to McAuliffe. The slider gets the corner, and McAuliffe has a word with Marty Springstead. Count now 2 balls and 2 strikes. Manager Ralph House, along with pitching coach Jim Turner, up in the edge of the Yankee dugout, watching things very closely. Anytime a man has had arm injuries of any nature, you can always see Jim Turner out there getting a very special extra look. And he's watching Ford very closely right now. Here's the 2-2 delivery. Sidearm curveball misses outside. It's 3-2. So it's a full count to Dick McAuliffe. Nobody out at second base. The third baseman is Don Wirt. On deck, Al Kaline as Jake Gibbs goes out and has a word with Whitey. Gibbs and Ford just in front of the mound, talking things over. A big crowd today. We had nearly 34,000 Friday evening, and this seems to be far in excess of that. Just looking around, very few seats available. The doubleheader here between the Yankees and the Tigers in Tiger Stadium. All right, Whitey ready once again. The pitch to McAuliffe. A hard ball. Nice play by Mantle. Flips to Whitey in time on a close play. Mickey made a good play. That ball right on the line. Mantle over there scooped it up. Flipped to Whitey for the putout. Moving to third base is Don Wirth. And the hand you hear is for Al Kaline. And what a year he's having. That was the announcement that Al Kaline was coming on. Kaline batting at .354, 8 home runs, 25 RBIs. Got 4 stolen bases. So the great right fielder for the Tigers is up there as Ford delivers a sinker low and outside. Ball 1. Whitey at this moment does not seem to be unloading. He doesn't seem to be too fast. Throwing sinkers and breaking pitches as he goes into the windup again. Here's the 1-0 delivery. There's a big curve in there. Strike 1. 1 ball and 1 strike. 1 game in the American League rained out. Baltimore at Washington. All right, Whitey once again. The pitch to McAuliffe, or rather to Kaline, is in the dirt. Nice block by Jay Gibbs. 2 balls and 1 strike. Don Wirth on at third base. 1 away. Bottom of the first inning, no score. First game of the doubleheader. In the second ball game, it'll be Joe Sparma for Detroit, Fritz Peterson for the Yankees. Ford checking Gibbs into the windup. The 2-1 pitch to Kaline. Hit to left field, not too deep. Tommy Tresh coming on. He's under it, tagging up, and coming in to score the first run of the ball game is Don Wirth. And the Tigers lead 1-0. That was a sacrifice fly, not too deep, but far enough back so that Tresh had no chance to get Don Wirth. The RBI for Kaline gives him 26 on the year. For Don Wirth, that's his 12th run scored. Now here comes the Detroit strongman, Willie Horton. Built like a fire plug. Powerful left fielder. Holds the bat high and takes a fastball in there, strike 1. Detroit leading 1-0. Bottom of the first inning. They're shading Horton to pull. Powerful right-hand batter. Whitey delivers. This one is outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Whitey Ford, all-time winner as far as games are concerned by a Yankee at 236. Ready again. The pitch to Horton. Drilled hard and foul down the left field side. Count is 1 ball and 2 strikes. Ford has struck out more batters than any other Yankee pitcher. Has more shutouts than any other Yankee pitcher. Most shutouts of any active pitcher in the big leagues today. Now Whitey ready once again, checking Jake Gibbs. Willie Horton for that bat poise. Here's the 1-2 delivery, high and outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. You get the impression that Whitey is trying to ease into the ball game. In other words, he's trying to test that arm, I think, to make sure that it's solid. And that was the fastest ball that he's thrown so far this inning, the high fastball to Willie Horton. Here's the 2-2 delivery now. Ford ready. Here it comes. A high slider, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Ford now taking his time out there, rubbing up the ball slightly. 3-2 the count on Willie Horton. On deck, the center fielder, Jim Northrup. Horton batting at .319, 6 homers, 9 RBIs. Here's a pitch by Whitey, and it's a half-swing call, ball 4. Horton nearly went after a high fastball, and with the walk to Willie Horton, the Yankee bullpen starts into action. Looks like Jim Bouton is coming out. Jim Bouton starting to loosen up. For the Yankees, Jim Hegan there to catch him up. There's a dribbler toward first. Ford is up with it, makes the play unassisted as he moves toward first base. And the Tigers are out of there here in the bottom of the first inning. 1 run. on one base hit. One man left, no Yankee errors, and the score after one full inning of play, Detroit 1, Yanks nothing. While Earl Wilson is warming up as we move into the top of the second inning, he'll be pitching to Gibbs, Hauser, and Amaro. We'll look at the scoreboard right now. Chicago's at Kansas City. That game's not yet underway. Baltimore and the Senators were washed out in Washington. First of a doubleheader, the Indians lead the Red Sox 2-0 after 6. Minnesota and California later start. In the National League, the Cardinals and the Mets are all tied up at 1 apiece after 3. Cubs lead the Dodgers 1-0 after 4. Philadelphia leads Cincinnati 1-0 after 5. And after 2 innings of play, it's the Braves 4 and the Pirates 1. That's all the action as we have it right now here in Detroit. Tigers leading the Yankees 1-0 as we go into the top of the second inning. Jake Gibbs coming on, batting at .263. Earl Wilson, fireballing right-hander, delivers high and outside, ball 1. Gibbs, 2 doubles, no triples, no home runs, 5 RBIs. Gibbs holding the bat high, chokes up a little. Wilson delivers, and there's a shot up the middle. Behind second base is McAuliffe. Flips wide to Cash at first base. The tag is put on Gibbs, and Gibbs is out of there. A nice play by Dick McAuliffe, retiring Jake Gibbs on a one-hopper that was headed toward center field. So Gibbs is out of there. The play going 4-3. Actually, McAuliffe had much more time on the ball. He threw the ball almost as he was running away from first base and could have taken a little more time for a better throw, but Cash saved him with a nice catch and tag as Gibbs went by. All right, here's Dick Hauser now, batting at .299. Takes high and inside, ball 1. Hauser with 2 doubles, no triples, no homers, 5 RBIs. Dick Hauser chokes up a little on the bat. Ready, Wilson delivers. It's high over Hauser's head. It's 2-0. Earl Wilson was originally a catcher and then switched to pitching, and that's one of the reasons possibly why he may be one of the best hitting pitchers in baseball. Powerful hitter. Here's the 2-0 delivery, and Hauser takes it high. 3-0. 3 balls and no strikes. Dick Hauser, who can work a pitcher, trying to get on the base any way that he can. Detroit leading 1-0, top of the second. Wilson to Hauser, and it's ball 4, so 4 high ones, and Hauser is on. That's the second walk given up by Earl Wilson in the ball game, and that'll bring up Ruben Amaro. Jim Bouton, when he got up in the first inning, is continuing to throw in the Yankee bullpen, so we'll have to wait and see whether or not Ford is going to stay in this ball game or whether a pinch hitter is coming on. Looks like we may be having a pinch hitter. We'll have to hold off until we're sure. Earl Wilson, the right-hander, sets. Here's a pitch to Amaro, and it's in there. Strike 1. And coming out of the Yankee dugout is Ray Barker. He'll be batting for Whitey Ford. So Whitey, after straining that elbow on May the 11th, went 1 inning and said that it's still not right and backs off. Here's Wilson to Amaro. On the ground to the second baseman, McAuliffe. To Euler for 1. Throw to first. Double play. A hard-hit ball by Amaro to McAuliffe, who flips to Euler, back to Cash. The Yankees are out of there here in the second inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left, and the score after 1.5. Detroit 1, Yanks nothing. Okay, here's Bill Freehan coming on now as we go into the bottom of the second inning. Jim Bouton, who was given all the time he needed to warm up as Ford was forced from the ball game. Apparently that elbow kicking up again. Detroit leading 1-0, and this big guy, Bill Freehan, is one of the reasons why the Tigers are only a half a game out of first place. Freehan batting at .293, 8 home runs, 24 RBI. Here's the first pitch by Bouton. The fastball is low and inside, and it's ball 1.
Sure, just a little byplay on that tag play where Jake Gibbs dropped the ball yesterday. Freehan was quoted as saying that's a football play to Bump Elliott caught him.
There's the 1-0. Hit deep to left field. Way back there. Fresh near the railing, and it's out of here. Jim Bouton being tagged by a home run by the first pitcher, or the first hitter to face him, Bill Freehan, and the ball game now goes 2-0 in favor of Detroit. Nobody out. Bottom of the second inning, and here's Norm Cash. Cash batting .269, 4 home runs, 11 RBIs. Strikes on the inside corner. For Freehan, that's home run number 9, which ties him with Frank Robinson for the American League lead, and ties him with his teammate Al Kaline, most RBIs, 25 apiece. 1-1 the count on Norm Cash. That fastball missed outside. Norm Cash ready. The changeup is outside by Bouton. 2 balls, 1 strike. Bill Freehan putting that 220 pounds of his, drilling it over the 365 marker. It was a high fly that just cleared the fence. There's a strike in there to Cash. 2 balls and 2 strikes. That's all it takes, though, is just to get over. So Detroit leads 2-0 here. Bottom of the second, first game of the doubleheader. Bouton ready again. The fastball is low and outside. It's 3-2. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Cash, a powerful hitter himself. Outfield, about straight away for Cash. Infield, shaped a little toward the right. Curveball hit down the left field line, and that's slicing foul and out of play. Look at this Detroit lineup with McAuliffe, Kaline, Horton, Northrup, Freehan, and Cash. All of them capable of hitting over 20 home runs. The only man that hasn't done it in recent years is Northrup. There's a drive to right field. 1 hopper. Whitaker has it. Cash is in with a single. A 3-2 shot to right field. So the first 2 batters have connected off Bouton, and right now this is New York Yankee baseball. We pause for station identification.
You're listening to Yankee Baseball, brought to you by the G. Kruger Brewing Company of Cranston, Rhode Island, brewers of light golden Kruger Pilsner. This is WCSS in Amsterdam, New York.
Ray Euler, the shortstop, coming on with a runner at first, nobody out, 1 run in, and the first pitch is high. It's ball 1. Ray Euler, who's in there for his glove, taking a flash at Tony Cuccinello at third base. On deck, the pitcher, Earl Wilson, a tough hitter. Euler squares the bunt and takes high, ball 2. Coming in was Hauser, Mantle, Clark racing toward first base. A spot like this, it's tough to figure what a batter's going to do in the early going, particularly when you're the home team and nobody out, a runner at first. Bouton ready again. Euler squares and bunts this one down the third base side. Bouton has it. Fires over to Mantle in time, and down to second base goes Norm Cash. The sacrifice is good. The play going 1-3. And it isn't often that you'll bunt to get to the pitcher, but in the case of Earl Wilson, he's batting at .236 with 1 home run and 4 RBIs. Wilson, as we mentioned before, started out as a catcher. 6'3", weighs in at 220 pounds. Right-hand hitter, wide stance, straightaway stance. First pitch is hit up the middle of the base hit, a bullet into center field. Here comes Cash. Peppercorn up with it. Fires it in, and it's out of time. Cash scoring from second base on the bullet by Earl Wilson. That's the 3rd hit of the inning off Bouton. The second run comes across in this inning, and the Tigers lead 3-0. Now that'll bring up the leadoff man, Don Wirt, who opened the ball game with a double to left and later scored on the sacrifice fly by Al Kaline. Jake Gibbs out to say something to Jim Bouton. And Joe, what can you say to a pitcher in a spot like this when you're getting hit?
Not much. He's just trying to break the mood because all he's got to do is look at the scoreboard and he knows what's going on. There's no strategy involved. They're just out there kind of like a babysitter trying to console him.
Okay, Jim Bouton now will be pitching to Don Wirt. Earl Wilson is at first base. 2 runs are in. Detroit leading 3-0. Bottom of the second, 1 away. Here's the first pitch. Hit to center field, high in the air. Pepitone gliding back easily under this one. He's got it. Don Wirtz tomahawking a high fastball into dead center field. 2 out, and here's Dick McAuliffe, who bounced to first in the first inning. McAuliffe with that unusual stance. If you're familiar with the batter's box, he has his back foot, which is his left one, in the corner of the batter's box, about as far back as he can get and as close to the plate as he can get. And then the right foot, as he takes the fastball inside ball 1, moves out and points right toward the second baseman, Horace Clarke. Then he turns his body almost around to face the hitter. Very unusual stance. There's a changeup in there, strike 1. 1 ball and 1 strike. But that's just the way he starts. We'll watch, though, when he starts to swing, that he sort of coils a little bit and then unloads. Chokes up in the bat. Holds it high. Here's a pitch. Curveball. Inside in the dirt. Nice play by Jake Gibbs, holding Earl Wilson at first base. The count is 2 balls and 1 strike. Detroit 3, Yankees nothing. Last of the second inning. Jim Bowden coming on for Whitey Ford. Ford pitched the first inning. Gave up 1 run. Now Bowden sets. Here's a pitch. The changeup hit hard to right center field. Over to pick it off is Whitaker, and holding at second base is Earl Wilson. A base hit, a solid shot into right center field over Horace Clarke's head. That's the 4th hit off Bowden in this inning, and that'll bring up Al Kaline. Now the Yankee bullpen is up and at him again. Thad Tillotson starting to throw. Bowden coming on for Ford has been touched for 4 base hits, 2 runs. One of them, the 9th home run of the year by Bill Freehan. Here's Al Kaline. Sacrifice fly his first at bat. Takes a curve right in there, strike 1. Outfield and infield shading to the left for Kaline. Never played a day of minor league baseball. One of the great right fielders in the game. Here's the 1-strike pitch. Fouled back, a high fastball, strike 2. Kaline came into this year with 279 lifetime homers. He's got 8 now, so that puts him up to 287. Moving toward that 300 mark. Began with the Tigers back in 1953 as an 18-year-old schoolboy out of Baltimore, Maryland. Kaline, 6'1", 185. Trim, fine athlete. At the plate, Bowden sets the 2-strike pitch in the dirt, and again, nicely blocked by Jake Gibbs. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Kaline, the last 2 years, was plagued with a foot problem. It was a congenital problem, one that he carried with him from his time he was born, and finally had it operated on, and now uses a protective covering on his left shoe. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Curveball hit to left field. Coming on his stretch. Can't get it. Wilson coming around third. Digging for the plate. And he's in to score. And it's a 4-1 ball game. For Kaline, his second RBI of the day, and that gives him 27 on the year. That's the 5th hit off Bowden in this inning, and the 3rd run that the Tigers have scored. They lead 4-0. Now here comes manager Ralph Houk out of the Yankee dugout. Detroit 4, Yankees nothing. Whitey Ford pitched the first inning, gave up 1 hit and 1 run, then retired because of that elbow of his that began acting up back on May the 12th. And then Jim Bowden came on, Gave up a home run to Freehan, a single to Cash, a sacrifice by Euler, a single to Wilson, fly ball to center by Wirt, and a single to McAuliffe and Kaline. And there are 3 more runs in, so Thad Tillotson is coming on. And Joe, with the changing of the guard out there on the mound, how about another look at the scoreboard?
We'll do that, Jerry. I just want to make a comment about Jim Bouton. This is going to be a long walk for Jim. It's been a real frustrating start for Bouton. He's been trying to get on track. He just can't seem to do it. Jim came into this game with a 5.40 earned run average, which may not mean too much to a lot of people, but when you stop to think that what that means, that in 15 innings pitched, he gave up 14 runs. And he is really disgusted. It's kind of a heartbreak kind of thing. As you watch a youngster walk into the dugout, it's easy to take a pot shot at him. It's easy to say a lot of things because he knows he got bombed. But when you see a professional baseball player who makes his living doing what Bouton is doing, it's a tough thing because there's nothing you can do. You just got to battle your way out of it. He's getting bombed. He knows it. Nobody has to tell him. And he's got to fight this thing out. He's got to fight it out himself. I'll tell you, maybe it's because I'm an underdog kind of guy, but I really feel it. And that's the best way I can put it. And look at helping the ball club is true, but helping yourself. Maybe I just better give the scores. Chicago, 0, Kansas City, 0, bottom of the 2nd. Cleveland, 3, Boston, 0, bottom of the 8th. St. Louis, 2, Mets, 1, bottom of the 5th. Maris a home run in that game to break the 1-1 tie. Banks has a home run, good enough to lead the Dodgers 1-0 at the end of 5. And the Phillies 1-0 over Cincinnati at the end of 6. Atlanta 4 and Pittsburgh 1, bottom of the 4th. Aaron a home run, a 2-run homer, and Stargell a home run. So that's a look at the scoreboard as we get a new pitcher, Thad Tillotson. We're in the bottom of the 2nd inning. We've had 3 pitchers. And we've got another game to go, Jerry.
Okay, Joe, and Tillotson, with runners at 1st and 2nd, will be going up against Willie Horton, who walked in the 1st inning. Horton batting at .319. Had that bad left heel and leg. Now back on the beam, but still plagued a little bit with the problems that confronted him since spring training. Takes outside by Tillotson. It's ball 1. There's 2 down. At second base, Dick McAuliffe. At first base, Al Kaline. 3 runs are in. Detroit leading 4-0. First game of the doubleheader. We're in the bottom of the 2nd. Tillotson again. The curveball is low and outside. 2-0. 2 balls, no strikes. Hauser deep at third base and shading toward the line. Outfield pulled into the left side. And playing back, Willie Horton. Last 2 years, 29 and 27 home runs, has driven in 100 runs in the last 2 seasons. The 2-0 delivery way outside is 3-0. 3 balls and no strikes. Horton, who walked in the 1st inning, out in front now of Thad Tillotson, who came on for Bouton. 3 balls and no strikes. Tillotson getting the sign from Jake Gibbs. Kaline and McAuliffe moving off. Kaline at first. McAuliffe at second. Tillotson sets. Here's a pitch, and it's low, and the bases are loaded. So Willie Horton draws another walk in this ball game, his 2nd of the afternoon. The bases are loaded. There are 2 down. And the 9th batter in this inning, Jim Northrup, is coming to the plate. Northrup hit that dribbler toward first base as Whitey Ford went over, scooped up, and made the play unassisted. Left-hand batter came into the game hitting at .297 with 2 homers and 16 RBIs. Holds the bat right on the end. 190 pounds, 6 feet 2. Tillotson delivers. Sinker is low and outside. Ball 1. McAuliffe, Kaline, and Horton on the bases. They do not play Northrup to pull. Pepitone is shading into the gap in left center. Whitaker giving Northrup a big piece of that right field line. A good 100 feet. He's almost in right center. All right, Tillotson ready again. The 1-0 delivery. It's low. It's 2 balls and no strikes. 2-0 the count. Right after this ball game, the Yankees will leave for Baltimore, where they play Monday night, Tuesday night, and Wednesday evening against the Orioles. Thursday, they're in Syracuse, and then a big weekend set with the Indians before returning to the stadium Tuesday, May the 30th. Sinker is low, and it's 3-0. 3 balls and no strikes. Yankees trailing 4-0. Jim Northrup at the plate. Bases loaded. 3 balls and no strikes. Tillotson having trouble finding the plate. Tillotson ready. Here's the 3-0 delivery, and it's in there. Strike 1 call. Northrup, starting out for first base, started to toss his back. The plate umpire, Marty Springstead, raised the right hand. 3-1. 2 down, bases loaded. Tillotson again. Here's the pitch. Ground ball. Mantle has it. It went right to him. Into right field. 2 runs are coming in to score, and a throw goes to the plate. Northrup all the way down to second base. Over to third is Willie Horton. As McAuliffe and Kaline score, those runs are charged to Jim Bouton. And the Tigers lead 6-0, and we're in the bottom of the second inning. 5 runs are in. And the man that started it all, Bill Freehan, who hit the home run, opening up this inning, coming on right now. The ball went right through Mickey's legs into right field, allowing 2 runs to come in. Now here's Bill Freehan up for the second time in this inning. 2 out, runners at second and third. Tillotson into the windup. The pitch to Freehan is low. It's ball 1. Well, this is one of those innings where everything is turning sour. Tigers 6, the Yankees nothing. Bottom of the second. 2 down, runners at second and third. Tillotson ready again. The right-hander delivers, and the ball is hit deep to center field. Pepitone way back there, and makes a great play on the running track. That ball hit 420 feet to dead center field, and Pepitone had all he could do to get to it and rob Bill Freehan of a base hit. Brother, that ball was tagged way back there. For the Tigers, 5 runs on 5 base hits, 1 Yankee error, 2 men left, and the score after 2 innings of play, Detroit 6, Yankees nothing.
Like sugar pilsner, like sugar pilsner, it's the third special beer for any time at all. We take our time to make it a fine brew. Made a little time ago, goes perfectly. Like sugar pilsner, like sugar pilsner, and just is the taste that's crisp and clear. Cause it's perfect beer, it's sugar pilsner. I like that flavor, that's sugar pilsner. Untitled Brewing Company, Cranston, Rhode Island. It's all crisp, it's all brewing.
Going into the top of the third inning for the Yankees, Thad Tillotson is the scheduled leadoff man, and he'll be followed by Horace Clark and Tommy Tresh. Whitey Ford started the ball game. And the way the baseball rules go, no matter what the Yankees do, or what the Tigers do, or what the eventual outcome of the score, unless the Yankees can tie or go ahead, Ford will be tagged with the loss. All right, here's Thad Tillotson coming on. An unfamiliar position for Tillotson. He doesn't get to hit too much. Tillotson is 1 for 1, batting 1,000. He's got one major league hit, and he got it in his only at-bat as he takes low from Earl Wilson, ball 1. Thad Tillotson, the third Yankee pitcher. Top of the third. Wilson delivers. Strike right in there. 1 ball and 1 strike. Earl Wilson being presented a fat 6-run lead here in the third inning. 1 run in the first, 5 in the second. Wilson ready again. Tillotson swings and misses. Strike 2. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Right after this complete third inning, after the Tigers bat again, Joe Garagiola will be along and bring you up to date on all the scores in both the American and the National League. Action going on everywhere except in Washington, where the Orioles and the Senators were postponed. Swing and a miss, and it's strike 3. Thad Tillotson going after a fastball, missed it. That's the first strikeout by Earl Wilson in the ballgame. Now here's Horace Clarke. The Tigers helped Wilson in both the first and the second innings with double plays. One off the bat of Tommy Tresh, the other off the bat of Ruben Amaro. Here's Horace Clarke, had an infield single in the first inning. Wilson ready, the pitch, and it's way inside. Ball 1. Clarke has been in that leadoff spot, trying to shake the shackles of a big slump. Sees him hitting at 193 as he came into the ballgame. He's 1 for 1 right now. Swing and a miss, and it's strike 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Big crowd, beautiful day, although they're expecting the possibility of some rain later on today here in the Detroit area. Right now, though, it's beautiful. Here's Wilson to Clarke. Fouled off, left side, upper deck, strike 2. 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1 and 2. As Joe told you, the Tigers trailing the White Sox by a half game. Really battling. One ball, 2 strikes, 1 out. Earl Wilson ready again, and a hopper up the middle. Coming behind the bag is Euler. Underhand flip in time, and Clarke is out of there. Nice play by Ray Euler. Right behind second base. Underhand flip. 2 down, and here's Tommy Tresh. Well, the Boston Red Sox were trailing the Indians in that first game 3-0 and came up with 4 in the bottom of the 8th to move out in front 4-3. So you never know. Here's the pitch to Tresh now, and it's high. Ball 1. Earl Wilson shooting for his 5th win of the year. Ready. Tresh takes it outside. Ball 2. 2-0. Tommy Tresh in his first at-bat hit a 1-hopper. The first baseman, Norm Cash, was holding against Clarke, and he turned it into a double play, although Tresh hit the ball solidly, but in the wrong spot. All right, here's the 2-0 delivery to Wilson, and it's strike call. 2 balls, 1 strike. Earl Wilson found new life since coming on here to the Detroit Tigers. It's more than just his ability, though. He'd become disenchanted with the Boston Red Sox, and they with him. There's a drive to right field. Al Kaline drifting over. To the right. Under it. He's got it. 3 up and 3 down, and the score after 2.5. Detroit 6 runs on 6 hits. The Yankees no runs on 1 hit. Coming up right now, for the Detroit Tigers, it'll be Norm Cash, Ray Euler, and Earl Wilson. And, Joe, it's strange to see a guy like Cash batting number 7 in the batting order.
That it is, because here's a guy who led the American League in hitting, but I tell you, it's a real tribute to this lineup, Jerry. They got some guys who can really pop that ball and got off to better starts, and it gives Mayo Smith a chance to maneuver a little bit as far as right-hand hitters and left-hand hitters.
Well, Norm Cash is stepping in right now in the ballgame. He singled once and scored a run. That was off Boughton in that second inning when 10 men went to the plate. 5 runs came across. Detroit leading 6-0. Here's the first pitch to Cash. They're tying outside, and it's ball 1. Norm Cash, as Joe told you, led the American League in hitting back in 1961. The 1-0 delivery hit sharply to right field. A sinking line drive base hit. So Cash comes up with a second base hit and the second shot into right of the ball game for him. Now Ray Euler, who sacrificed the first time up, moving the man to second base. In that case, it was Cash again, and Earl Wilson came up and drilled a single to center. Let's see what manager Mayo Smith does on this one. Nobody out. Cash at first base. Ray Euler, the batter. And this time he swings and misses. Strike one. Thad Tillotson, the third Yankee pitcher. Ford went the first inning. Boughton started the second, got only 2 men out. Was charged with 5 hits and 5 runs. Tillotson came on in the second inning and retired the side. Damaging error by Mickey Mantle let a pair of runs in that big 5-run inning. This time Euler squares the bunt and misses it, and it's strike 2, and he had a little beef with Marty Springstead, the plate umpire, as to whether or not he actually bunted at the ball or not. When you look at this Detroit lineup, the only man who is not a fairly solid man with the bat is Ray Euler. Euler right now batting at .218. 4 doubles, 6 RBIs. Hits a high fly, center field. Pepitone moving over to his left is under it, and he's got it. Tagging up and drawing the throw and then going back to first is Norm Cash. So Euler is out of there, and now here's Earl Wilson, who drilled a single to center field to drive in a run in the second inning and later scored himself. Wilson is the kind of a fellow that if you were thinking about a flanker back in football or something like that, he'd be the guy. 215, 6'3", can run well, powerful man. Wears a golf glove in that left hand of his. We mentioned before, a wide stance, fairly close to the plate. First pitch is in there, strike 1. Earl Wilson, picked up from the Red Sox for Don Demeter. It's been a big trade for the Tigers. 1 out, Cash at first base. A ground ball to third. Hauser has it. Flips to Clark for 1, and that's all I can get. Wilson really went down that line. No chance for a double play as Cash is forced at second base. Play going 5-4. 2 out. Wilson on at first now, and the batter will be the leadoff man, Don Wirt, who's taking a little time, having a conference with Dick McAuliffe, trying to give pitcher Earl Wilson a little breather down there. It's not the kind of a day where a ball player will run out of gas because of the weather. It's in the mid-50s. There's a high overcast starting to form here. The sun was out when the game got underway, but now the clouds are starting to creep in. Don Wirt, the third baseman, takes a strike from Tillotson. Wirt doubled in his first at-bat and flied to center in the second inning. Don Wirt 1 for 2 in the afternoon. The third inning, and this is Wirt's third at-bat in the ball game. Tigers leading the Yankees 6-0. First game of the doubleheader. Tillotson delivers high. It's 1 ball, 1 strike. In that second ball game, it'll be Joe Sparma, who is 4-0 this year and 5-1 lifetime against the Yanks, going up against Fritz Peterson, who is 0-2 in 67 and 2-1 against the Tigers. 1-1 pitch. Check swing foul into the Yankee dugout and then out of it again. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Joe Garagiola is going to have all the scores for you right after this half inning, so keep your ears tuned, and we'll bring you up to date on what's going on in the American and the National League on this Sunday afternoon, May the 21st. Tillotson getting the sign from Gibbs. The pitch to Wirt is high. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. At first base, Earl Wilson. Wally Moses yelling something to the big pitcher at first base. Moses coaching at first for Detroit. Tony Cuccinella doing the job at third. Tillotson ready. Here's a 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. A fastball on the letter. That's the first strikeout for Tillotson and the first Tiger to strike out in the ball game. So for Detroit here in the third inning, no runs on one hit, one man left, and the score after 3 full innings of play, it's the Tigers 6 and the Yankees nothing. Okay, Joe, and here comes Mickey Mantle facing Earl Wilson. Mantle walked in the first inning, batting from the left side, deep in the batter's box. 503 lifetime home runs as Wilson delivers the first pitch. In there, strike one. Mantle chasing Mel Ott right now, who has 511 lifetimers. In front of him, it's Ted Williams, 521, Jimmy Fox, 534, Willie Mays, 546, and the great Babe Ruth, 714. Mickey takes high, 1 ball, 1 strike. Mantle has a chance to go ahead of Ott, Williams, and Fox. He may have trouble catching Willie Mays, who is in good shape and hitting them every day himself. Of course, Babe Ruth completely out of sight for most everybody. The 1-1 delivery, and Mickey takes low. It's ball 2 and strike 1. 2-1 the count. Tigers leading the Yankees 6-0. Frank Crissetti coaching at third base. Been a Yankee consecutively since 1932. 36th year in the big leagues with the Yankees. High fly ball, straight away center field. Backing up a few steps is Northrup. He's under it, and he's got it. So there's one away here in the top of the fourth inning, and we remind you this is New York Yankee baseball. We pause for station identification.
This is WCSS in Amsterdam, New York. You're listening to Yankee Baseball, brought to you in part by the G. Kruger Brewing Company, makers of Kruger Pilsner, the world's most perfect beer.
Joe Pepitone, who was safe on an error by Norm Cash in the first inning, is coming on now. 0 for 1. Pepe crouching over the plate. First pitch is outside, and it's ball 1. Well, the reports on Whitey Ford, a dual reason why he left the ball game. Give it to you just as soon as this pitch is over. Here's the 1-0 pitch to Pepitone, and it's inside 2-0. Ford's elbow was bothering him again. He's also coming down with a flu. So one or the other can knock you out of the box in a hurry. 2 balls, no strikes. Pepitone the hitter, 1 out, nobody on. Tigers leading the Yankees 6-0, top of the fourth. Earl Wilson ready. The fastball is in there, and it's strike 1. Joe Pepitone batting in the cleanup spot. Came into this ball game hitting at .258. 0 for 1 thus far. Here's Wilson again to Pepitone. Curveball hit to left field, way back there. Willie Horton on the run, and he can't get it off the wall. And Horton is hurt. He's down as Pepitone goes into second base standing up. He backed up into that wall and just collapsed and fell right on his face. There's a huge crowd behind the railing gathering there. The outfielders, both Northrup and Kaline, are over there, and the way he went down, you could tell immediately that he hurt himself. Now, he's had a bad left Achilles tendon and a bad left calf muscle, but where he hit, it looked as though it was in the small of his back. And he went down as though he was poleaxed. I mean, just flat on his face and almost with no protection. In other words, when he fell over, he just flopped down. The trainer for the Detroit Tigers is out there now, and they're bringing out a stretcher from the sidelines here. Well, that's one thing you hate to see, any kind of a ball player under any circumstances apparently seriously hurt himself, as Horton may have done. Of course, we have no way of knowing whether he's badly hurt or just had the wind knocked out of him, but apparently it may have been the wind, because the stretcher is now being waved off as Mickey Stanley is running out there. But the way he hit that wall, backing up, going after the fly, and then fell over almost in a flat position, hitting his stomach and face all at once. It looked as though he might even have been knocked out, but apparently he's up and okay. And there's a big hand going out for him. The trainer out there is Bill Beam. And all the kids who are out in the left field bleachers there are climbing on the wall trying to get a better look. Well, if he stays in the ball game, it'll be a big surprise, because the way he went down, it looked as though he wasn't going to play for a week or so. He's walking off under his own steam. Joe, you've had the glasses on them all through this. Could you tell what area they were working on?
Jerry, I think you had it exactly right. It was right in the middle of his back. There's a little protrusion in left field. It is covered with foam rubber, which may have saved him from serious injury. He's walking off, but he wants to stay in the game. He started to walk off. Mickey Stanley started to loosen up, and now Stanley is left, and Willie Horton is going to stay in the game. It could be that he did get the wind knocked out of him. I don't believe he ever lost consciousness. He was laying out there. It was very painful. And he's a big guy. And luckily he's not hurt. And that fence is marked 365, but right now, let's say it's about 368. He moved it back 2-3 feet. He really went into it. Dr. Wright has come on the field. He's talking to the trainer, and apparently he's all right.
Strange thing, Joe, is the way he went down, face first, almost as though he was out cold when he went out.
That extension on the fence is only about 4, maybe 5 feet high, and that's what really ripped him.
Okay, we're back into action here. Steve Whitaker is coming on. Pepitone on at second base with a one-out double. Horton stays in the ball game. Tigers leading 6-0, top of the fourth. And Whitaker takes a high curve ball. It's ball one. Whitaker bounced back to the pitcher in the first inning. Steve Whitaker holding his own thus far in the early going. Not hit for too much power as far as home runs are concerned, but he's got it. Has 1 home run, 11 RBIs. Here's Wilson's pitch. High curveball. 2-0. 2 balls and no strikes. 2 double plays got Wilson out of some trouble in the first and second inning. Then he retired the side in order in the third. And now a double by Pepitone with 1 out. 2-0 the count on Whitaker. Wilson sets. Here's the pitch. Ground ball foul past Lauren Babe toward the Yankee dugout. And the man down there who takes care of that situation is up with the ball and fires it in and gets a big hand. He's a left-hander. You know, it's always fun at the ball games, the little things that happen that give the spectators so much enjoyment. That's one of those things it does. All right, Wilson ready. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Fouled off. 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2 the count. Cards leading the Mets now 3-1 after 6. Boston beat Cleveland 4-3, a final score. Chicago and Kansas City scoreless after 2. Minnesota at California later start. Baltimore at Washington postponed because of rain. All right, Earl Wilson once again. Here's the 2-2 pitch to Whitaker. Ground ball is fair. Nice play by Cash. Up with a race to the bag in time, and Whitaker is out of there. Moving to third base is Joe Pepitone, and that was a fine play by Norm Cash. He went back along the line, backhanded the ball, and then had a mad dash to the base with Steve Whitaker and just outran him. They'll bring up Jake Gibb to bounce to second in the second inning. Other National League scores. Cubs 1, Dodgers nothing after 6. San Francisco and Houston scoreless after 2. Philadelphia leading Cincinnati 1-0 after 8. Front-running Reds out in front by 3.5. And it's the Braves 4, Pirates 2 after 5. A dribbler toward the mound. Earl Wilson scoops it up. A soft toss to Norm Cash, and Gibbs is out of there. Play going 1-3. For the Yankees, no runs on 1 hit, 1 man left. And the score after 3.5. Tigers 6 runs, 7 hits. Yankees no runs on 2. In the last of the 4th inning, coming on for the Detroit Tigers, it'll be Dick McAuliffe, Al Kaline, and Willie Horton. Detroit leading 6-0. Look at Tony Cuccinello coaching at third base for Detroit. Reminds you of that, I think it was 1945, when he and George Sternweiss went right down to the final day and lost by 0.010 of a percentage point the batting championship in the American League to George Sternweiss. That's gotta hurt, Joe.
Oh, man.
Here's McAuliffe. The first batter almost got hit, and it's ball 1. Old Cooch, one of the really fine guys in baseball, was lieutenant for Al Lopez for many years with the Indians and with the White Sox. Fine second baseman. Here's the 1-0 delivery to McAuliffe, and you don't have to say how far that's going. It's just where will it hit? It's out of here. Dick McAuliffe unloading on a fastball, and he really boomed it out of here. His 6th home run of the year, and his 15th RBI. So the Tigers take over a 7-0 lead right now. That's the first run off Tillotson since coming on. Now here's Al Kaline, who takes a strike right in there. Kaline with a sacrifice fly to drive in a run, and then a single to left to drive in another. Kaline currently leading the American League in RBIs with 27. And Willie Horton, who appeared to be half dead at one moment in the top of the 4th inning in left field, is in the on-deck circle swinging those bats. Great to be strong. Here's the 1-strike pitch. High, ball 1 and strike 1. Yankees on to Baltimore for 3 night games, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. The weekend series with the Indians, and then back to the stadium Tuesday, Memorial Day, May the 30th. Doubleheader against the Twins. First game starts at 1 o'clock. High fastball to Kaline. It's 2 balls and 1 strike. Tigers 7 runs on 8 hits. The Yankees no runs on 2 hits. Tillotson getting the sign from Gibbs, the right-hander. Ready again. Here's the pitch to Kaline. Ground ball foul. Cuccinella makes the play. And gets a little hand from the fans off the third base side. Thad Tillotson, the player to be named later in the Dick Schofield deal, the one that sent Schofield to the Dodgers last year in September, helped them win the pennant. The 2-2 pitch to Kaline. Drill down the left field side. Base hit. Kaline's going to try for 2 and is into second base standing up. So Al Kaline, a double to left. And for Kaline, that's his 6th double of the year. And he comes out of the ball game, and Mickey Stanley goes in as a runner. Al Kaline, who every now and then has that foot problem, his left foot, goes out of the ball game. Stanley going in to run for Kaline, and will stay in as the outfielder. Tigers are leading 7-0, bottom of the 4th. Now here's Willie Horton, who's got a pair of walks. Tillotson delivers, and Horton takes a curve outside. Ball 1. The way Horton went down in that last inning, it's hard to believe that he's at the plate right now. So the Yankee bullpen goes into action, and Hal Renniff starts to throw. Stanley at second base running for Kaline. The pitch to Horton is just outside. It's 2-0. 2 balls and no strikes. Willie Horton, the strong man, driven in 100 runs the last 2 years. And yet they say he hasn't really hit his full potential. Here's the 2-0 pitch. Fly down the right field side, slicing foul into the upper deck, out of play. Boy, when you drive in 100 runs and they say that you haven't hit your potential, how good can you get? Willie, in 1964 with Syracuse, drove in 99, but he had 10 with Detroit, so that's 109 on the year. And he had 104 in 65 and an even 100 last year in 66. This year so far, he only has 9, but he's been injured and missed a lot of the early going here in the American League in 67. The count is 2 balls and 1 strike. At second base, Mickey Stanley running for Al Kaline, who has left the ball game. Tigers 7, Yanks nothing. Bottom of the 4th. The pitch by Tillotson is swung on a miss, and it's strike 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. A good sinker. Well, Kansas City has jumped up in front of the White Sox 4-0 after 3. And if they lose and the Tigers win, Detroit moves into first place in the American League. Boston has beaten the Indians already 4-3 in the first of a doubleheader. Minnesota, California later start. Baltimore at Washington postponed. Tillotson ready once again. The 2-2 pitch. High fly. Short left center. Pepitone over there. Under it easily. Tagging up and coming to third is Stanley. To throw to third base is almost in time, but Hauser drops it. Although Stanley beat the play. Hauser pulled one of those tricks that you see every now and then. He just stood there as though there was no play at all, giving Stanley the decoy, but it didn't take. As Stanley came piling in with a hard slide and almost got Hauser in the nose when he slid and then bounced up. So that's a good play by Mickey Stanley. Moving over to third base, there's one down now, and the batter will be Jim Northrup. Willie Horton flying out deep to center field. Good throw by Pepitone. Almost had him. Northrup at the plate. The pitch by Tillotson. Ground ball. Clark has it. And I'll tell you, that was a hot shot, and he had to back off of it to come up with it. A tough play and a fine stop by Horace Clark, holding Stanley at third. Northrup is out of there, who is now 0 for 3. That'll bring up Bill Freehan. Homered, slide to center. That ball was well hit. Horace Clark played that as though he had the cape and the bull was coming at him. He kind of moved aside and really made a fine play as the ball was taking a half hop by him. Curveball is in there, strike one. 2 outs. Stanley at third base. The Tigers 7, Yanks nothing. The pitch to Freehan is swung on and missed, and it's strike 2. 0-2 the count. No balls, 2 strikes. Bill Freehan batted .300 in 1964 and then slumped to .234 the next 2 years. He's come out with a vengeance, though, in 67. There's a ground ball. Amaro up with it. Fires to Mantle in time. Side is retired. For the Tigers, 1 run on 2 base hits. No Yankee errors, 1 man left, and the score after 4 innings of play. Detroit 7, Yanks nothing. Now here's Earl Wilson getting ready to pitch to Dick Hauser. Mickey Stanley in center field, Jim Northrup in right. Al Kaline has left the ball game, as you know. Strike is called on Dick Hauser. So Northrup moves over to right field. Stanley goes into center. Top of the 5th. Here's a pitch by Wilson. Hauser takes low and outside. 1-1. Dick Hauser walked in the 2nd inning and then was erased on a double play ball off the bat of Ruben Amaro. Wilson again to Hauser. Drill down the left field side. It's fair. Rolling to the wall, and Hauser will have himself an extra base hit, a double to left field. That's only the 3rd hit off Earl Wilson. And you don't have to be too smart to realize that one of the major problems that the Yankees have been running into lately is the fact that they haven't been able to score. They lost the first ball game 4-2 Friday night, getting only 2 runs, and then yesterday they came up with only 1 run when Mantle hit a home run. They lost that game by a score of 3-1. Now they're trailing 7-0 in the 5th inning. Hauser, an opening round double here in the top of the 5th. Here's Ruben Amaro, who bounced into the double play in the 2nd. Fouls the first pitch off, down the right side, strike 1. Tillotson, who is the scheduled next batter, will not hit. It's Ray Barker coming on, who will do the batting for him. Barker was scheduled to bat for Boughton before Amaro bounced into the double play in the 2nd, so he's out there again. The 1-strike pitch to Ruben is in there, strike 2. Ray Barker coming on for Thad Tillotson. Hal Reniff has been throwing in the bullpen, so he'll be coming on for the bottom of the 5th inning. Detroit 7, Yanks nothing. Top of the 5th, Hauser at second base. Wilson to Amaro, ground ball to Ward at third. He's up with it. The throw to Cash in time, holding at second base is Hauser, and there's 1 away. Play going 5-3. We do this every now and then. We might do it now to bring you up to date. If you keep score, you wonder what the numbers mean with ball players. Each number on the playing field represents a position. The pitcher is number 1, and the catcher is number 2. First baseman 3, second baseman 4, third baseman 5, the shortstop 6. Left field 7, center field 8, and the right field is 9. We use those numbers as symbols when we're keeping score. That play went 5-3, third to first. 1 out. Here's Barker coming on for Tillotson. He takes a strike. Ray Barker has been used sparingly. Played a little bit when Mantle was hurt early in the year, but has been used only as a pinch hitter since. He's got 2 base hits and 25 at-bats. Batting at .080. Barker takes high, and it's ball 1. 1-1 the count. Second ball game, it'll be Fritz Peterson and Joe Sparma. Young left-hander for the Yankees and the young right-hander for the Detroit Tigers. Earl Wilson shooting for his 5th win. Comes set. Checks Hauser. The next one to Barker is hit to left center field. Willie Horton drifting over this one. He's got it. One-hands it and fires it into the third baseman Donward. Holding at second base is Dick Hauser. So Barker, batting for Tillotson, flies to left center field to Willie Horton. 2 down, and the batter will be Horace Clark. Clark had an infield single in the first inning and then bounced to short in the third. Horace 1 for 2. Clark, a switch hitter, batting from the left side against the right-handed Earl Wilson. Wilson getting ready, set. Here's a pitch to Clark. It's high and it's ball 1. In fact, the first 6 Yankee hitters are left-handers. First 3 switch hitters, Clark, Tresh, and Mantle. Pepitone, Whitaker, and Gibbs left-handed all the way. Wilson, attempted pickoff at second base, no good. The ball was high. Hauser alerted to it, back in plenty of time. You could hear Frank Crissetti yelling when he saw Euler moving around behind Hauser at second. Now Wilson gets the sign. Set. Here's the pitch to Clark, and it's in there. 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. First game of the doubleheader, and the sun is now out again. It got rather overcast and cloudy there for a while, but it's coming out bright and clear. Earl Wilson comes set. Here's the pitch to Clark. Up the middle, off Wilson's glove, toward the shortstop. Euler up with it. No chance to make a play, and Horace Clark has himself an infield single. That ball was really tattooed, and Wilson, the fine athlete that he is, had all he could do to stop it. The ball dribbled toward the shortstop, but didn't get to the dirt part of the infield, and Euler had no chance to make the play. So Horace Clark gets himself an infield single. The Yankees have runners at first and third with 2 out, and the batter is Tommy Tresh, who hit into a double play and fly to right. Tresh is wearing that shin guard, half of a shin guard, on that right foot. Got a lot of trouble with that. Ligaments in the knee bothered him. Got hit there when he was batting right-handed around the ankle. So it's very tender. There's a high fastball inside, ball 1, and Bill Freehan didn't even know he had the ball. He looked around, thought it got by him, but it stuck in the webbing. Yesterday, Freehan broke the webbing of his glove and had to use another one. Earl Wilson with runners at first and third, 2 down. Set. Here's the 1-0 delivery, and it's in there. Strike 1, a curveball. 1 ball, 1 strike. Tommy Tresh questioning the call of the plate umpire, Marty Springstead. Not so much that he wanted to argue, but by turning around, and you could almost hear him say, "Was that high?" Ball players will do that. They'll question an umpire occasionally. There's a foul into the Yankee dugout. Strike 2, 1 ball and 2 strikes. This ballpark is continuing to fill up. Looks like nearly a capacity crowd. Looks like there's at least 40,000 here today to watch the doubleheader between the Yanks and the Tigers. In the first 2 games, total of 47,000 people on hand to watch. Wilson sets the 1-2 pitch to Tresh. Inside, 2 balls and 2 strikes. The big right-hander firing that fastball, missing the inside corner. Dick Hauser at third base, Horace Clark at first. Double by Hauser. The infield single by Clark. The 2-2 pitch by Wilson to Tresh. The line drive. And what are they going to call it? Nobody really made a call, but now they've got it. John Stevens, the first base umpire, had the ball go right by him, and he spent some time dodging the ball and was a little late on the call. But we're right on the line here, and the ball was about 6 inches foul. We could see it, I think, better than either of the umpires, because the plate umpire was blocked out a little bit by the catcher and the first baseman, Cash, and Stevens was dodging the ball, and it did miss the white chalk line. It was slicing hard. A few inches difference, though, and it would have been a fair ball. Neither umpire, for a moment, called it. All right, here's Tresh up there now. The 2-2 pitch to Tommy. High pop, left side. Don Wirt digging toward the railing and can't get to it. Don Wirth, the Detroit third baseman, is a deceptive ball player. He's built along the lines of a box. He's very boxy looking. He has a barrel chest and fairly wide hips and what appear to be rather thin legs, but he runs well and hits well and does the job for you. He's not a tapered ball player. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Yankees with runners at first and third, trailing 7-0. Top of the 5th. Here's the pitch. Tresh takes it, strike 3. A curveball. Tommy, looking for the fastball, got hung up there. That's the second strikeout for Earl Wilson and for the Yankees here in the 5th inning. No runs on 2 base hits. No Tiger errors. 2 men left, and the score after 4.5. Tigers 7 runs on 9 hits. The Yankees no runs on 4 hits. Al Reniff coming on to pitch to Norm Cash, who's 2 for 2. 2 solid singles to right field. The first pitch is low, and it's ball 1. Reniff, the 4th Yankee pitcher. Al is 0-2 this year, making his 11th appearance of the season. The next pitch is low. It's ball 2. Reniff coming into the ball game with a 4.86 earned run average. So manager Ralph House going to the bullpen. Ford started, pitched 1 inning. Boughton pitched 2/3 of an inning. Tillotson 2 1/3 inning. Here's a foul off to the right. It's strike 1.
You can flinch. That ball was about a foot to your right. Boy, you got good depth perception. No wonder you were a good pilot.
Well, I'll tell you what it was. You see, I'm a little flinchy now, and you get where you don't move after a while. There's a swing and a miss, and it's strike 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2 the count. We'll have the scooter coming on right after this half inning when he gets his breath back. Tigers leading the Yankees 7-0. Reniff to Cash. It's outside. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Right now, the pitchers of record, Wilson for the Tigers and Ford for the Yankees, although Whitey pitched only 1 inning, gave up 1 run. He still stands as the pitcher of record, unless the Yankees can tie it or go ahead. Fastball is high and outside, and it's ball 4. So an opening inning walk in the bottom of the 5th for Norm Cash, and he's had a perfect afternoon so far. 2 singles and a base on balls. That'll bring up the shortstop, Ray Euler. Sacrificed in the 2nd, slide to center in the 3rd. Al Reniff. The 4th Yankee pitcher. Getting the sign from Jake Gibbs as Euler steps in. Yankee infield, a double play depth. Cash at first. A bunt high in the air. 3rd baseman Hauser in foul territory has it. Ray Euler trying to drag one. That was more for a base hit than a sacrifice. Is out of there on the bunt. High pop toward 3rd. Hauser in foul territory put it away. There's 1 away, and now here's Earl Wilson coming on, who had a single to center to drive in a run and later scored. And then bounced to 3rd, getting a fine hand. Wilson coming into the ball game with a 4-3 mark. He's shooting for his 5th win. Tigers right now with a comfortable 7-0 lead. Bottom of the 5th inning. Hal Renniff, the fourth Yankee pitcher, gets the sign from Gibbs. Sets. Here's a pitch to Wilson. A curve is in there. Strike one. On the scoreboard, Kansas City leading the White Sox 4-2 now after 4 innings of play. Boston beat Cleveland in the first game 4-3. The second game about to get underway. Minnesota at California later start. Baltimore at Washington postponed because of rain. Renniff again to Wilson. High drive, right field. Backing up is Whitaker. On the track, he's got it. You know, that Wilson could hit fourth in a lot of ball clubs, Phil.
You're not kidding, Jerry. He's got a powerful swing, and every year he gets about as many or more homers than any other pitcher in the American League.
Earl Wilson drilling one deep to right field. Now here's the leadoff batter, Don Wirt, who doubled, flied to center, and struck out. Cardinals leading the Mets 3-2 after 8. A tight battle in New York. Wirt takes high, ball one. There are 2 out here with Cash on at first base. Dodgers leading the Cubs 4-1 after 8, after the Cubs beat the Dodgers, coming up with 20 runs yesterday. Renniff ready again. The pitch to Wirt is fouled off right side. 1-1. Houston leads the Giants 1-0 after 4. They're an extra inning. Cincinnati playing the Phillies. It's all tied up at 1 apiece. And after 7 innings of play, Braves 5 and the Pirates 2. The Pirates not getting the pitching. They've got the hitting, got the defense, but they're not getting the pitching. Preseason favorite for many people. Ooh, boy, there was a curveball that very nearly got Don Wirt in the head. He ducked into it. In other words, he bent right over, and the curve kept breaking after him. Just went over the top of his helmet. 2 balls and a strike with 2 outs. Cash at first. Tigers leading by 7. It's a 7-0 ball game. Bottom of the 5th. Renniff set. Here's the pitch to Wirt. A base hit up the middle. That ball, 1 hop through the infield. Amaro never had a chance to move for it. So the Tigers have runners at first and second, and here's Dick McAuliffe, and what an afternoon he's had. Bounced to first, singled to right, and scored a run. Then hit his 6th home run of the year into the upper deck in right field. Norm Cash, who opened the inning with a walk, is on at second base. Don Wirt at first, and Dick McAuliffe now coming on. Mickey Stanley in the on-deck circle as Renniff comes set. 2 down. Here's the pitch. Right down the middle, strike 1. Ford went 1 inning, gave up 1 run. Boughton pitched 2/3 of an inning, gave up 5 runs. Tillotson 2 1/3 innings, gave up 1 run. Now Hal Renniff here in the bottom of the 5th. Hal getting the sign from Gibbs, delivers. There's a ground ball to Clark at second base. Scoops it up, flips to Mickey just in time. The side is retired. That play going 4-3. For Detroit, no runs, 1 base hit, no Yankee errors, 2 men left, and the score after 5 full innings of play, Tigers 7 and the Yankees nothing. Brooming or brushing off the infield, I'm not quite sure what they call it. A lot of places they drag it, but here they use big brooms, wide brooms, and that seems to be taken care of. We're going into the top of the 6th inning with the Yankees trailing 7-0. Tigers have 10 hits and 1 error. Yankees have 4 hits and 1 error. Earl Wilson moving along, shooting for that 5th win. Mickey Mantle is coming on for his 3rd at-bat. And now to carry it down to the wire is the scooter, Phil Rizzuto.
Okay, Jerry. Mickey walked his first time up, fly to deep center field in the 4th. The big right-hander into the windup. Pitch to Mickey, a hard ground ball off the glove of McAuliffe into right field. That'll be a base hit. Mickey Mantle singles to right. That's hit number 5. The ball really spun as it hit the ground. McAuliffe just got the end of his glove on it. Here's Pepitone. Joe reached on an error in the first inning, and Pepitone's the fellow who hit that long fly off the left center field wall for a double that injured Willie Horton. Horton crashed into the wall and was almost knocked out. After about 5 minutes, he resumed play. Just knocked the wind out of him. There's a pop-up to the infield. And the second baseman, McAuliffe, and Word, and McAuliffe makes the catch right in back of the pitcher's box. One away. That brings up Steve Whitaker. Steve hit to the box in the first inning. Bounced out to first base in the fourth inning.
Phil, you know, you mentioned that Horton. I thought he was dead when he fell over. What did you think?
I did. I said, first I thought his head hit the wall. And, I mean, the way he went down, then I saw him move and reach for his back. And I thought maybe, possibly a serious back injury, but as strong as he is, somebody said he chipped the wall out there. That boy, he is a monster, I'll tell you. Ball one to Whitaker. So I said a normal ball player. You or I had been in the hospital for 2 months.
Well, Joe had the best one of all. He said the 365 mark now has to be changed to 368.
He knocked the wall back, huh? The pitch to Whitaker. Ground foul outside of first. Down the right field line. 1 ball, 1 strike, and 1 out. Well, it's the first time we've seen the Tigers this year, Jerry, but it looks like they're for real.
Phil, I would say one thing. The way things have been going, it'd be just as soon to bypass them if we find them again.
Boy, I said it. They've had 2 complete games with Lolich and McLean. Wilson here, leading 7-0, has allowed just 5 base hits. And their hitting and fielding has been great. Swing and a miss. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Whitaker. Jay Gibbs thought it was 3 strikes, started to walk up. Now he backs up into the on-deck circle. 1 man out. Mantle at first base. Cash not holding Mickey close. When you have a 7-run lead, nobody's going to try and steal the base. Stretch by Wilson. High and tight, and the count's even, 2-2. Detroit's big inning was the second inning when they picked up 5 runs on 5 hits off Jim Boughton. And there, did you see Boughton get mad, Jerry, and throw the glove in the dugout, the hat on the ground, and kick the wall on the way up? Ooh, he was hot.
Phil, it's frustrating when you wait to pitch and then have that happen to you.
Yeah.
Now you got to wait another 4 or 5 days to do it all over again.
Right. Change up is low, and it's a full count, 3-2. Well, the kind of competitor that Boughton is, and he is quite a competitor. He puts out 100%. Doesn't like to lose those chances, as Jerry said. But when you got a team that's red hot like the Tigers, even though you got good stuff, you're in trouble. There's a pitch, high ball, 4. Mantle goes to second. Whitaker goes to first. 1, 2, third walk given up by Wilson.
You know, when I was playing for Lefty Gomez, he put me on to that particular phase of pitching. He said, you know, you infielders and outfielders and catchers have a bad day or don't do so well, you're back the next day to make up for it. But a pitcher misses out, and he has to wait 4 or 5 days before he even gets a shot at it again.
That's right. He's got a long time to think about it and stew about it. All right, Mantle leads off second. Whitaker off first. Here's Jake Gibbs. Takes the strike on the outside corner. And big Steve Hamilton is getting up now in the Yankee bullpen. In the event the Yankees keep the rally going, there'll be a pinch hitter for Renner. Gibbs is bounced to second and hit to the box. 1 out. Wilson sets, delivers it outside, and Freehan bluffs the throw to second. Mantle getting a big lead. If this were a close ball game, Mickey could have stole second or third off Wilson. Big Earl got a pretty good move to first or second, but a lot of times he gets a little careless, especially with a 7-run lead. Kind of goes into a rhythm where you can time your lead. Here's the stretch. The pitch low and outside. 2 balls and a strike.
Phil, you said something there. I don't know what it is, but Wilson does something that tips off his movement toward the plate. And when he was with the Red Sox, you get a great running right on him.
He looks in for the sign now. There are quite a few pitches like that. And you can keep the game close and get a lot of men on base by walks or hits, whatever. You can steal the bases on him. There's a fly ball. He hit it off the fist, though, to right field. Northrup started back, now comes in and makes a one-hand catch. Boy, did he misjudge that one. He had trouble getting his glasses down, had backed up to the warning track, and then had to come in about 30 or 40 feet to make a running one-hand catch. It fooled him. We could tell here that the ball was hit off the handle, but evidently Northrup couldn't, and he thought it was going to be hit well, and he started to back up on it. So it's 2 out. That gave the crowd a little bit of a thrill. And here's Hauser, who has walked and doubled.
Phil, let me ask you about glasses. You know, when I used glasses and put them down, all I saw was a black curtain in front of me. I couldn't find the ball anyway. I don't think I really ever used them. I don't know whether they help or hurt.
No, it seems like when we were playing, Jerry, only the outfielders wore them, and seldom, maybe rarely, the infielders wore them. There's a strike to Hauser, and I think that takes a lot of getting used to. And if you flip them down too quick, you're in trouble. If you flip them down too late, you're in trouble. It's quite an art of flipping down those glasses. Runners lead off first and second. The pitch to Hauser. Swing and a foul tip, strike 2. Actually, if the glasses are oiled up properly, you just flip the tip of your cap. You don't even have to touch the glasses and they'll fall down. But if you have to flip 2 or 3 times and you're not following that ball, when you flip them down, as Jerry said, suddenly everything gets dark. Ready for the 2-strike pitch. A high fly to short left field. Willie Horton is there, under it, and he's got it. So for the Yankees, no runs, 1 hit, no Tiger errors, and 2 men left. And at the end of 5.5, it's Detroit 7 and the Yankees nothing. Well, we get ready for the bottom of the 6th inning. And Mickey Stanley will be coming to bat for the first time. Al Kaline, who leads the American League in batting, had a perfect day. A sacrifice fly, a single and a double, drove in 2 runs and scored 1. Al being rested for the 2nd game. He's got a bad knee. So Mickey Stanley comes up. Stanley, a right-hand batter. Renniff's pitch is low, ball 1. Stanley has been at bat 22 times with 4 base hits. No extra base hits. And no runs batted in. He's been filling in the late innings. Al Renniff, the 4th Yankee pitcher of the day. His curve is low. Two balls, no strikes on Stanley. As a high foul back into the crowd and out of play in the upper deck. Two balls, 1 strike. Stanley, 6 feet tall, 185 pounds. Check swing foul at the plate at Nick Gibbs. Count is even at 2-2. Detroit leads 7-0 here in the bottom of the 6th inning. On deck, Willie Horton. There's a curve popped up. In a short center, could be trouble. Amaro backing up. Now Rubin takes charge and makes the catch. Pepitone, who was fairly deep, couldn't catch up to the ball. One away. And Willie Horton, who has walked twice and fly to center field. On deck, Jim Northrup. Horton gets a good hand. First they carried a stretcher out there and thought they were going to have to carry him off. Then Mickey Stanley ran out to go in, but he was sent back, and Horton continued. Takes the strike just above the knees. Gets all that weight on the back foot just before he's ready to hit. Holds the bat straight up, takes the curve outside, 1-1.
Still, that could have been a real tough break for Horton had he been injured seriously, because he's missed about half the game so far with that bad Achilles tendon and that leg pull on that lower part of his left leg. Something like that could have about put him out for the year.
That's right. And he's hustling back. It's a ground ball, a short, deep. Amaro backhands the ball. The throw to first is low, but Mantle handles it and he's out. A good play by Mickey Mantle. That's a tough play when the ball is in the dirt. You don't know which way it's going to bounce. 2 away, and Northrup the batter. Northrup hit to the box, reached on an error, and bounced to second. He's 0 for 3. Left-hand hitter. Renniff's pitch is fouled back off the screen. Strike 1. Now Steve Hamilton gets up again. Renniff is scheduled to be the second batter next inning. Well, it looks like we'll have another pinch hitter. On deck, Bill Friend. Rennett's pitch is inside this time, 1-1. Pepitone just about straight away in center, does not play Northrop to pull. The 1-1 delivery is low, bounces off Gibbs' chest protection, back to the wall. 2 balls and a strike. So Whitey Ford, who started the game, had elbow trouble again, and also coming down with the flu. That's not a good combination. Pitch is over. Strike 2 called. Nick the inside corner. 2-2. 2 out, nobody on. Tigers 7, Yankees nothing. Bottom of the 6th. Rennett checking the sign from Gibbs. Nods his head. A short windup. Pitch is low and outside, and it's a full count. Dick Hauser playing way wide of third base. Northrop hits that way quite a bit. Here's the payoff pitch. A base hit into center field. Hit it right off the handle. Pepitone is up with it, and Northrop's on with his first base hit. 11 hits now for the Tigers, 2 off Renneff. Here is Bill Friend. Home in his first time up. Came to bat again in the second inning as the Tigers sent 10 men to the plate and fly deep to center. Pepitone making a circus catch back by the 440-foot sign. And then in the fourth inning, 3 and bounce to the shortstop. He now has 9 home runs. Northrop at first, Mantle holding him on. Stretched by Renneff. The pitch is hit off his fist. Clark backing up in the short right field, makes the catch. For Detroit, no runs, 1 hit, no Yankee errors, and 1 man left. And at the end of 6 full innings, it's the Tigers 7 and the Yankees nothing.
For the Yankees, and we're going into the 7th inning.
All right, Jerry, and Earl Wilson pitching to Ruben Amaro. And on deck, Charlie Smith to bat for Renneff. There's a drive to left field, curving foul, and going into the seats out of play. Willie Horton leaning over, talking to the fans. He slowed down before he got to the wall that time. Ruben hit into a double play in the second inning and bounced to third in the 5th. Charlie Smith in the on-deck circle. And Hamilton continues to loosen up in the bullpen. Wilson's pitch is a curve low, 1-1. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Inside, 2 balls and a strike. Big right-hander. Kicks, delivers, and it's inside, ball 3. 3-1 on Ruben Amaro. Ruben digging into the plate. Here's the 3-1 delivery. He takes it for call, strike 2, 3-2. Ready now for the payoff pitch. Here it is, and it's a base hit to left field in the hole. A line drive single by Ruben Amaro. And before Charlie Smith comes up on New York Yankee baseball, let's pause briefly for station identification.
Yankee baseball on WCSS Amsterdam, New York, being brought to you in part by the G. Kruger Brewing Company of Cranston, Rhode Island. The brewers of light golden Kruger Pilsner will never be able to say they brew the most. They don't mind as long as they brew the best.
For Hal Renneff, with Amaro in first. Nobody out. And the Yankees trailing 7-0 in the top of the 7th. Charlie Smith batting .225, takes the strike. A curveball around the letters. Charlie has 5 doubles and 6 RBI. And at bats 80 times with 18 base hits.
Cash not holding Amaro close at first. Pitch by Wilson, high and tight, 1-1. Horace Clark on deck. Stretch by Wilson. Check of the runner. There's a check swing. It's a strike. Throw to first. Holy cow. Man, he was a dead duck, and it looked like Cash missed the tag. Ruben Amaro was picked off first on a great throw by Friend, and Johnny Stevens did not give any sign, so evidently he figured it was the safe sign, but he just waited there. Looked like Cash stumbled a little bit as he tried to put the tag on Amaro, trying to slide back in, but the throw was there in plenty of time. A good play by Friend. It's 1 ball, 2 strikes on Charlie Smith. The pitch is low and outside. 2-2. All right, Wilson ready. His 2-2 pitch is a foul ball outside of third. Amaro back to first base. 2 balls, 2 strikes, nobody out. Tigers scored 1 in the first, 5 in the second, and 1 in the fourth. Wilson set. The pitch is fouled back off the screen. McAuliffe has really shortened up at second base. Close to the bag and in. John Wirt really guarding the line at third for Charlie Smith. Still 2-2. Wilson set. Delivers, swing and a miss at a curveball. Strike 3, and that's the third strikeout for Wilson. It brings up Horace Clark, who has 2 infield singles and has bounced to short.
Still, I was surprised to see McAuliffe shorten up the way he did with a 7-run lead, because generally when you're that far ahead in the latter stages of a ball game, you're going 1 out at a time to keep any big rally suppressed.
You're right there, Jerry. I hadn't thought of that, but he was worrying about the double play instead of worrying about keeping the ball from going through the infield and getting 1 sure. All right, the pitch to Clark. The ball gets away from Freehan, or did it hit his bat? Freehan did not hustle after it. The scoreboard has ball 1. And it's strike 1. Now the umpire gives the signal that it was a foul tip, and that's why Freehan did not hustle after the ball. Seems strange that he didn't bounce around. Stretch by Wilson. The pitch is hit deep to right field, and that ball is gone. That's going to be a home run in the upper deck for Horace Clark. Horace pulls one into the right center field upper deck. Driving in Amaro in front of him, and that makes it a 7-2 ball game. And for Horace Clark, that's his first home run of the year, and now gives him 7 runs batted in. And the batter now, Tommy Tresh, who has hit into a double play, fly to right, and struck out. It looks like we might have a little activity in the Tiger bullpen. We'll wait and see. Wilson has had a fairly easy game up to this point. Pitch to Tresh is lined down the left field line. That's going to be in for extra bases. Tresh around first. He's going into second with a stand-up double. And it'll bring up Mickey Mantle. So Tresh doubles to left field. And now for the Yankees, that's their 8th base hit. Mickey has walked, fly to center, and single to right. And Fred Gladding gets up in the Tiger bullpen. Freehan out to the mound to talk with Wilson. And now Orla comes in from shortstop. Mickey Mantle now has a 7-game hitting streak going. he has homered in the last 3 ball games before this one. So Mickey's up there with Tresh at second base. Tommy with his 5th double of the year. 1 man out, and Detroit leading 7-2. Stretched by Wilson. His pitch is low, ball 1. On deck, Joe Pepitone. Wilson taking a little extra time. Tommy Tresh leads off second. Outfield deep on Mickey. The pitch is fouled back, and he had a good cut. 1 ball, 1 strike. Earl Wilson taking more time now between pitches. He's got the sign. Looks back at Tresh. Delivers, and it's high and outside, ball 2, 2-1. We're in the top of the 7th inning. The Yankees have broken the ice with a 2-run homer by Clark. The pitch to Nick is swing and a miss. And boy, he was going for the downs on that one. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Sun shining brightly here today. This is the best day we've had of the 3 days that we've played ball here in Detroit. All right, ready for the 2-2 delivery. Wilson's pitch is foul tipped and in and out of the glove of Frein. A life for Mickey. And now Mick goes back. Wants the pine tar rag. A little better grip. Pepitone hands it to him. Still 2-2. Scoreboard thought it was strike 3. Now they put the count up there again. 2-2. One man out. Earl Wilson ready to pitch to Mather. He kicks, delivers. It's high and outside. Ball 3, 3-2. Green gives the sign. Wilson ready for the payoff pitch. Here it is, and it's hit deep to right. That's gone way back up there. A 2-run homer for Mantle, who is now homing in 4 consecutive ball games, and suddenly it's a 7-4 ball game. Mickey Mantle really stroking that potato. For Mickey, his 8th home run of the year. He now has 17 runs batted in and 504 lifetime home runs. And now Mayo Smith walking out to the mound. So the Yankees have come to life here in the 7th inning. A single by Amaro after Smith struck out pinch hitting. 2-run homer by Clark, a double by Tresh, and a 2-run homer by Mantle. Mayo Smith. And now he signals for Fred Gladding to come on in. Well, while we've got time, let's have Jerry give us another rundown of the scoreboard.
Okay, Scooter, Fred Gladding will be coming on now for Earl Wilson. The ball game has suddenly changed the complexion here with the Yankees coming up with 4 in the top of the 7th. It's now a 7-4 ball game. In other American League games, Kansas City leads the White Sox 5-2. Kansas City batting in the bottom of the 7th. O'Toole, Higgins, Wood, and Wilhelm in there for the White Sox. Nash all the way for Kansas City. Baltimore at Washington, postponed because of rain. Minnesota 1, California nothing. They're batting in the bottom of the second. Boswell against Clark. In the first of a doubleheader, Boston 4, the Indians 3. The winning pitcher was Wyatt in relief of Rohr. Siebert was all the way for the Indians, took the loss. Scott had a home run in the 8th with 1 on for Boston. In the second game, it's the Indians 2 and the Red Sox 1 after 2.5. McDowell against Brandon, and McDowell helped himself by hitting a 2-run homer in the third. In the National League, the Cardinals beat the Mets 3-2. The winner was Washburn. He went all the way. Cardwell relieved by LeMay for the Mets. Cardwell took the loss. Brock and Maris homered for the Cards. Jones hit 1 for the Mets. First of a doubleheader, the Dodgers beat the Cubs 6-1. The winner was Brewer, relieved by Reagan in the 7th. Culp started for the Cubs, relieved by Henley, Kuntz, Raddatz, and Upham. Banks had a home run for the Cubs. Davis hit 1 for the Dodgers. Second game, it's Sutton against Jenkins. That one has not yet started. Houston 2 and the Giants nothing, and that's after 7.5 innings of play. McCormick against Cuellar. Aspromonte had a home run for the Astros in that one. Phillies are batting in the bottom of the 12th inning. They're playing in Philadelphia against the league-leading Cincinnati Reds. It's all tied up at 1 apiece. Pappas, Abernathy, and Queen for the Reds. Short all the way for the Phillies in that ball game. In Atlanta, the Braves beat the Pirates 7-2. The winner was Johnson. He went all the way. Pizarro, Bloss, McBean, and Mickelson in there for Pittsburgh. Stargell had a home run for the Pirates in the second. And Henry Aaron hit a pair, both times with a runner on. Once in the second, again in the 8th for the Atlanta Braves. And right here, with 1 out, nobody on, the Yankees have pushed across 4 runs in the top of the 7th inning. For the Tigers, it's 7 runs on 11 hits, 1 error. For the Yankees, 4 runs, 9 hits, and 1 error. And right now, Joe Pepitone is coming to the plate to face Fred Gladding. And we're back to the Scooter Phil Rizzuto for the action here at Tiger Stadium. First game of the doubleheader.
Gladding, 6 feet tall, 225 pounds, and they nickname him the Bear. And if you look at him, he reminds you a little bit of Mike Garcia, who they used to call the Bear. And he's done quite a job in relief for Detroit. His pitch to Pepitone is a strike call. Gladding has pitched 13 innings of scoreless relief, in which he has given up only 1 walk. He also has 5 saves, and his record is 1 win and no defeats. Perfect earned run average of 0.00. There's a line drive to left center. Willie Horton moving in is there and makes the catch. And Horton glides around well for a big man. Especially a big man who's crashed into the wall and was almost knocked out today. Here's Whitaker. Hit to the box, bounced to first, and walked.
Phil, when you mentioned Mike Garcia, did you ever count the number of times he knocked you down?
No, but boy, I get nightmares about it sometimes, Jerry. He was tough on the mound. A real nice, gentle Bear out of the uniform, but in uniform, boy, he was mean. There's a strike to Steve Whitaker. Two out here in the top of the 7th. Yankees have scored 4 runs, but they trailed 7-4. Curveball pulled foul down the right field line. Nothing in 2 the count. Larry Sherry, a right-hander, and Hank Aguirre, a left-hander, are loosening up down in the Tiger bullpen. The curve high and outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Last year, Gladding won 5 and lost none. Appeared in 51 games for Detroit. The 1-2 pitch. Foul back off the screen. Two out, nobody on. Tigers were half game out of first place coming into this game. There's a foul again back off the screen. Count still remains 1-2. Very little wind blowing today. Lined up by Gladding. A foul. He got around on that one. That's right on out of the stadium. Way back over the roof. Still 1 ball, 2 strikes. Earl Wilson worked 6 2/3 innings. Charged with 9 hits, 4 runs. The pitch, swing, a foul tip held by Freehan for the strikeout. So Gladding does the job. The Yankees come up with 4 runs on 4 hits. No Tiger errors, nobody left. And at the end of 6 1/2, it's Detroit 7 and the Yankees 4. For the Yankees, Steve Hamilton comes on, and he's the 5th Yankee pitcher in this ball game. We told you Whitey Ford started, pitched 1 inning, and his elbow became sore again, plus the fact that he's coming up with a touch of the flu. And Whitey, unfortunately, is a pitcher of record. He gave up 1 run on 1 hit in the first inning. Boughton worked 2/3 of an inning, gave up 5 hits and 5 runs. Phillipson worked 2 1/3 innings, gave up 3 hits and 1 run. Rennet gave up 2 hits and no runs, and now Hamilton. Steve appearing in his 6th game of the year. He's won none and lost none. He's pitching to Norm Cash, who has singled twice and walked. Well, Big Steve. It was really rough on left-hand hitters. Into the windup. Pitch to Cash is a curve outside, ball 1. Those left-handers really bail out of there when Hamilton is pitching. And Steve only gets in trouble when he keeps the ball inside. Curve in there, strike called, 1-1. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Another curve hit off the end of the bat into center field. Pepitone digging hard and makes the running catch. Nice play by Pepitone. Got a good jump on that ball. 1 away. Here is Ray Euler, sacrificed in the 2nd inning. Fly to center in the 3rd. Pops to 3rd in the 5th. On deck is Fred Gladding. Hamilton's pitch, swing and a miss, strike 1. Hamilton not wasting too much time. Curve, swing and a miss, strike 2. 2 quick strikes on Ray Euler. Big Steve ready. Strike 3, swinging on another curveball. So here's Gladding, who has been up 3 times this year without a base hit. He bats him left-handed. Boy, he stands way up in front of the plate. He really looks like a barrel up there. Boy, his front foot is way in front of the plate. Hamilton's curve bounced to the right of the mound. Hamilton over fast up with it. Flips underhand to Mantle in time. So an easy inning for Hamilton. 3 up, 3 down. And at the end of 7 full innings, it's Detroit 7 and the Yankees 4.
All right, yeah.
Ready for the top of the 8th inning. And it'll be Gibbs, Hauser, and Amaro to face Fred Gladding. Jake is 0 for 3, bounced to second in the 2nd inning, hit back to the box in the 4th, and fly to right field in the 6th. And now Julie Womack gets up in the Yankee bullpen. First pitch by Gladding to Gibbs. He tries to bunt and misses, strike 1. Jake trying to pull that ball, bunted right through it. Said if he'd have bunted that ball, it could have been a line drive base hit. He was really running full tilt at the ball. The pitch is high and outside, 1-1. Play Gibbs just about straight away. 1-1 delivery. A ground ball right over Gladding's glove into center field for a base hit. And Jake is on with a bouncing single through the middle. Gladding was in position, had his glove there, but it bounced right over the glove. First hit off Gladding, and now for the Yankees, that's their 10th base hit. And here's Dick Hauser. Dick walked in the second, doubled in the fifth, and fly to left in the sixth. Hauser now has a 6-game hitting streak. And Sherry and Aguirre get up again, the right-hander and the left-hander for Detroit. So both bullpens going at it. Cash not holding Gibbs too close at first. The stretch by Gladding. Pitch to Hauser is fouled back, and he was trying to go to right field. Boy, he had the right idea. Gladding is deceiving, you know. Jerry's ball is up on him.
Hey, he's a tough guy to pull. If he throws the ball in on you, you might have a chance. But anything away from that plate, you better go the opposite way.
Gibbs leads away. Pitch to Hauser, high and tight. Ball pops out of Freehan's glove, but not far enough to allow Gibbs to advance. 1-1. On deck, Ruben Amaro. Stretch by Gladding. Curve way high and inside. 2 balls and a strike. Freehan trying to slow Gladding down a little bit. Walks out towards the mound. Flips him the ball. Now Gladding looks in for the sign. Gibbs dancing off first base. The pitch is fouled, but near the stands. Word cannot get to it. It goes back into the crowd and out of play. And they have not sent up the official attendance today, but this is a real fine crowd. Got to be at least 40,000. Two balls, 2 strikes on Dick Hauser. The Yankees trailed 7-4 in the top of the 8th. Gladding sets, delivers a foul. Upstairs, bouncing off the roof down below. Hauser just trying to punch that ball. Gladding kind of short arms the hitters, and the ball's up there before you know it. He sets again. Delivers a fly ball to short center. Stanley coming on. He's there. Makes the catch. So it's 1 away, and here's Ruben Amaro. Ruben has hit into a double play. That was in the 2nd inning. Bounced to 3rd in the 5th, and singled and scored in the 7th. And Elston Howard is coming out on deck to bat for Hamilton. One out. Fred Gladding in relief of Earl Wilson. Pitch to Amaro is outside, ball 1. Gladding ready again. Delivers it. It's a fly ball to short left field. Willie Horton digging hard, and makes the running catch. And boy, Gibbs slipped. He was almost at second base and just did get back. A nice play by Willie Horton, who has amazing speed for a big man. 2 out, and now Elston Howard will be batting for Steve Hamilton. Kelly batting .224, has 2 doubles, 1 homer, and 10 RBIs. And on deck, Horace Clark. Julie Womack will be coming in to pitch the bottom of the 8th inning. Gladding stretches. His pitch is right down the middle. Strike 1 call. Kelly moves up a couple inches on the plate now. This was always one of Yogi Berra's favorite parks to hit in Detroit. Curve fouled back. Off the broadcasting booth used by the Tigers, Ernie Harwell. It's 0-2 on Howard. 2 quick strikes. Ladding gets the sign. Sets the curve. Ground ball. Base hit for right field. The ball almost hit Gibbs in the foot. And Jake stops at second base. Man, that was close. Jake just did lift his foot in time. And time is called. And John Kennedy is going out to run for Elston Howard as Ellie comes through with a pinch hit single to right field, and it brings up the potential tying run to the plate, Horace Clark, who is 3 for 4. 2 singles, a homer, and bounces short. And right now on New York Yankee Baseball, let's pause briefly for station identification.
You're listening to Yankee Baseball on WCSS Amsterdam, New York. Today's game is being brought to you in part by the G. Kruger Brewing Company of Cranston, Rhode Island. Brewers of the world's most perfect beer, Light Golden Kruger Pilsner.
Kennedy at first, Gibbs at second, and Clark, who has a 2-run homer, got that in the 7th inning up there now. The stretch by Gladding. Pitch to Clark. Here's a strike on the outside corner. Tommy Tresh on deck. With the exception of 1 inning, which was the 3rd inning, the Yankees have had men on base in every other inning. Ladding's pitch, a curve, is in there, strike 2, and Clark was really fooled on that one. A good breaking curveball right over the heart of the plate. 0-2. Each team now with 11 base hits. Tigers got most of theirs early in the ball game. Big damage off Jim Bowden in the 2nd inning. Here's a 2-strike pitch, outside, ball 1. Gibbs leading off second. Kennedy off first. Gladding gets the sign. Delivers, swing, and a miss, strike 3. And Fred Gladding, who has been doing the job all year, does it again. For the Yankees, no runs on 2 hits, no Tiger errors, and 2 men left. And at the end of 7.5, it's Detroit 7 and the Yankees 4. And now Julie Womack comes on, the 6th Yankee pitcher in this first game. Julie has seen a lot of work this year. This is his 14th appearance of the year, the most of any Yankee pitcher. He has won 3 and lost 2, and his earned run average is .86. So he's been doing his job. He's allowed just 2 earned runs in 20 2/3 innings of pitching. The leadoff hitter, Don Wirt, up there, takes the strike on the inside corner. Wirt has doubled, single, fly to center, and struck out. Tigers lead 7-4 in the bottom of the 8th. Womack's next pitch, a curve low and away, 1-1. Sun shining brightly here in Tiger Stadium. Foul off the end of the bat as Womack came side on with a curve. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Womack checks the sign from Gibbs. Now he delivers a curve hit in the air to left center field. Pepitone digging to his right. He's there and takes it. 1 away. That brings up McAuliffe. Dick bounced to first in the 1st inning. Single to right, scored in the 2nd. Homered in the 4th and bounced to second in the 5th. Tigers have 2 home runs in this ball game. So do the Yankees. Freehan has the other homer for the Tigers. The pitch to McAuliffe. He bluffs the bunt and takes it outside, ball 1. On deck, Mickey Stanley. Womack's next pitch low and away. 2 balls and no strikes. Womack back. The pitch is over the outside corner. Strike 1 call. All right, Dooley gets the sign. On the outside corner again. Strike 2 call. 2-2. One out, nobody on. Womack delivers, and it's just outside this time. 3-2. Full count on Dick McAuliffe. Womack steps back off the rubber now. McAuliffe steps out of the batter's box. Now they're both ready. Here's the payoff pitch. Foul off the end of the bat. He was protecting the plate. Pitch might have been a little outside, but McAuliffe taking no chances. So once again, Womack will have to come in there with the 3-2 pitch. Leans forward into the windup. Delivers a high fly deep to right field. Way back there, and that ball is out of here. A home run from McAuliffe. His second home run of the ball game. And the Tigers now lead 8-4. They have an overhang out there in right field that runs from the right field foul line all the way out to center field. And that's just where that ball went. It extends out about 15 feet from the lower deck. And Tresh was under there, rather Whitaker, waiting for the ball to come down, but it just got into the front row of box seats upstairs. Here is Mickey Stanley, who's been up once and popped to the shortstop. Well, McAuliffe now with 7 home runs, 2 of them in this ball game. There's the strike over the outside corner, 1-1. Stanley, a big right-hand batter. Womack's curve, swing and a miss. 1 ball, 2 strikes. One out, nobody on. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Tossed 2 away, and here is Willie Horton. Willie has walked twice, slide to center, and bounced to short. Two out in the bottom of the 8th inning. Detroit leads 8-4. Pitch to Horton, side on curve, hit deep to left field. Tresh going back near the wall. He can't get it. It's a home run for Horton. As Tresh had grabbed the fence and tried to leap high. And Willie Horton comes up with his 7th home run of the year. And listen to those Tiger fans. Remember, Willie Horton crashed into the fence early in the ball game, was almost knocked out. But recovered his wind, stayed in the game, and is now homered to make it a 9-4 ball game. 4 home runs now for the Tigers in the ball game. And here is Jim Northrup, who is 1 for 4, singled in the 6th inning. Womack's pitch high and tight, ball 1. Next pitch, swing and a miss, 1-1, and Northrup was cutting for the fences. So the Tiger fans have come to life. One ball, 1 strike. Pitch is outside. 2 balls and a strike. Womack into the windup. Curve, swing and a miss. Strike 2. 2-2. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. The curve is a little bit low. 3-2. The payoff pitch, swing and a foul tip, just did get a piece of it. Still 3-2 with 2 out and nobody on. 2 big runs in for the Tigers here in the bottom of the 8th. Womack delivers, swing and a miss, strike 3. Had an out in front of a curveball. But Detroit comes up with 2 runs on 2 hits. No Yankee errors, nobody left, and at the end of 8 full innings, it's the Tigers 9 and the Yankees 4.
Atlantic, keep your car on the go.
Give your driving a lift with Atlantic Imperial, the clean carburetor gasoline. Every trip will be more fun.
When you want to go places and do things, what a pleasure your driving can be. For quality products and top-notch service, your Atlantic dealer is the man to see.
And when you see your Atlantic dealer, he'll fill her up with Imperial gasoline. Imperial will rinse away any dirt deposits other gasolines have left in your carburetor throttle plate area and prevent new deposits from forming. Your driving will be more fun, more than a matter of just getting there, when you use Atlantic Imperial, the clean carburetor gasoline.
Well, this is at the top of the 9th inning. The Yankees trailing 9-4. It'll be Tresh, Mantle, and Pepitone to face Fred Gladding. Tommy Tresh hit into a double play in the first inning, fly to right in the third, struck out in the 5th and double to left, and scored in the 7th inning. Fred Gladding, who has not allowed a run this year, in relief, doing quite a job. Delivers the pitch, hits Tresh's bat as he tries to duck out of the way, strike 1. Man, if it hadn't hit his bat, it hit him in the left shoulder. Slider coming right in on Tommy. Nothing in 1 the count. Gladding winds. Pitch is low and inside. 1-1. Another big ball game to go. Goes Farmer against Fritz Peterson. A 1-1 pitch, swing and a miss as Tommy was trying to go to left field. 1 ball, 2 strikes. All right, here's the windup. The pitch, swing and a miss, strike 3, and Tresh loses his helmet but strikes out. That brings up Mickey Mantle. Mick's had a good first game. He walked in the first inning, fly to center in the 4th, singled in the 6th, and homered with Tresh on in the 7th. Mickey has now homered in his last 4 ball games and has 504 lifetime homers. Pitch to Mickey. Strike 1 called, a fastball right around the knees. Gladding winds again. The pitch. Mickey ready to bunt. Takes the strike. He ducked out of the way of that pitch, and he's not happy with that call. And he's letting Springstead know about it. Nothing in 2 the count. Here's the 2-strike pitch. Foul tip off the umpire's chest protector. Mick's still talking to himself up there, and yet he might be talking loud enough for Springstead to hear him. One out, nobody on. Yankees trail 9-4 in the top of the ninth. Glading nods. Winds. Delivers a curve. Mickey ready to bunt with 2 strikes on him. Takes it low. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Surprised look on Glading's face as he saw Mickey run up. 1-2 the count. On deck, Joe Pepitone. The pitch, a bouncing ball off Mickey's foot. It's in fair territory. Glading picks it up, but that ball hit right off Mickey's toes, off the right foot. And man, that had to hurt. Right down off the toes. Bounced high in the air, stayed fair. But that hurt. That's where you have the least protection on a baseball shoe, is right where the toes are up front.
Still, have you ever been able to figure out why it does it to some guys and not others?
No, I really haven't, unless it's the way they swing that the bat. Mantle and Tresh do it a lot. Here's the pitch again, and it's strike 3 call. And Mickey again unhappy with that call. He does not want to leave home plate, but he shakes his head in disgust. And it looks like Springstead got a big kick out of calling that a 3rd strike. Mickey very unhappy. 2 out. Here is Pepitone. Joe reached on an error, double off the wall in left center. Popped to second and fly to left. All right, 2 out in the top of the ninth. Nobody on. Pitch to Pepitone is low, ball 1. Glading winds, delivers a broken back ground ball to first base. Pepitone trying to get out of the way. Cash up with it, makes the unassisted putout. And it's 3 up, 3 down. The ball game is over. The final score, the Detroit Tigers 9 and the Yankees 4.
I got my friend sitting here today. Yes, sir, the Whiteout girl. Tell me, any new rules you'd like to see brought into the game?
Only one. I'll give every batter who reaches first base a box of Whiteout cigars.
How's that going to help the game?
Well, more players will try to get to first base. It will make the game more interesting.
It sure would. You know, you could have your own rally. 9 guys could end up at first base. But do you really think that would work?
I know it will. You know how popular White Owls are. You see them everywhere. It's the famous White Owl tobacco that does it. It's aged slowly, mellowed carefully to bring out the mild taste, smooth flavor.
Do you really think the fans would go for that?
Why not? They're all White Owl fans, too. They know you get a lot more from a White Owl than just smoke.
Well, now for the totals, and the highlights. Here is Jerry Coleman.
Okay, Scooter, for the Detroit Tigers in this first game of the doubleheader, 9 runs on 13 hits and 1 error. And for the Yankees, 4 runs, 11 hits and 1 error. The winning pitcher was Earl Wolfson. His record now 5-3. The loser was Whitey Ford, who pitched only 1 inning and had to retire because of that elbow and also the fact that he was coming down with the flu. Whitey's record is now 2-4. The save is by Fred Glading, which is his 6th of the year. And he has really been doing a job for Detroit.
Well, that wraps up the first game of this doubleheader.